In the far northwest corner of Utah lies a land so vast and so empty. You won't find it in a guidebook. You won't see it crowded like the trails of Moab or the bustling wonders of the national parks. Here, the wilderness belongs only to those who seek it. The quiet winds at night bring relief from the day's restless sun, and the haunting calls of the coyotes echo across the desert, reminding you that solitude still lives here, wild and untamed. Hey everyone, welcome to Utah. We're out here in the Great Salt Lake Desert. It's kind of a interesting experience because even though we're out in the desert, it smells like the ocean because the Salt Lake's just right over there. I don't get this a lot where I'm from, so I'm just taking it all in. The Tacoma. We got a lot of miles to cover today, as always. We're in some BLM land. Looks like we'll be for the next big stretch. So across Utah's empty desert, a forgotten road traces the path of iron rails. Here in 1869, the East and West were finally joined, a single line binding a nation. The trains are gone now, but the land still remembers every cut, every grade, every echo of progress that once thundered across this wilderness. Hey guys, welcome to the Utah desert. They're kind of just on the tail end of the Salt Lake section. We're starting to get out of it. And then we're going to head over towards Wendover, Idaho, or Utah. Got a ways to go today. Kind of getting a late lunch, but I'm just going to, boil up some water and do a quick freeze-dried meal for lunch. And I've got a little bit of real food left, so I'm thinking like a real dinner, like maybe a steak potato dinner or something like that. Be kind of cool. But I'm just gonna do a quick freeze-dried meal. Probably eat in the truck because it's kind of hot, but it's not as hot as I thought it was going to be, for sure. So yeah, this comes in this like big bucket you can buy. So I had these peak refill meals. So I got really tired of Mountain House. I used to do a lot of backpacking and stuff when I was for my job and stuff for trails. But these things are pretty cool. They're a little bit cheaper than buying them individually. It's still not a cheap or budget way to eat by any stretch of the imagination. So just kind of keep that in mind. Kind of thinking like maybe like a beef pasta. Sounds kind of good. But yeah, I didn't really eat much today. I just kind of had like an apple. So let's see, beef pasta. These are pretty good. This is cool because one of these pouches is like 1,000 calories. So they don't skimp on the portions. That's like always a big problem these companies will, you know, try to skimp on portions and stuff. I should just put you on a tripod, but I'm just kind of winging it, you know. Alright. So, also they had, like, at Sportsman's, I don't know, Jetboil started making these really big ones. So this is like kind of a normal sized isobutane fuel. And Jetboil like has a really big one. And these, I bet these will last a long time, because this one lasts, like, I've been going on this one for 3 weeks. It's probably about done. But like, I bet this one is like a month or more. So that's pretty cool. So with these meals, pour a little bit of water in, then give it a good stir. Oftentimes these meals, you just don't put in the full amount. You can always add more water. If you put the full amount in, there's a good chance it'll be quite soupy. Something to kind of keep in mind. So I always like to kind of check it out. So a little bit water more, just a little bit more. And then we're gonna seal it up. But never put the full amount of water in. Just kind of a pro tip. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes. So we're gonna check it out. See, nice and hydrated, not soupy. So it's kind of the consistency I like. So the other thing is, like, when eating these meals, you really just got to pound water because the sodium content is astronomically high. So just keep in mind when you slam one of those meals, especially like both servings like I just did, like I got to really pound the water, try to rebalance my system. You know, a lot of times you're eating those when you're backpacking or doing like really a lot of physical activity. I don't really do a lot of physical activity, to be honest, on these expeditions, because I'm driving and, you know, doing editing and stuff like that. So I just need to, you know, monitor my fluids, and so, you know, make sure I'm drinking water. So I wanted to give you a little update on the map. You can see we're going along the red route, and Wendover is right there. This is the next town. We've gone about a quarter of the way. So the good news is, like, you know, it's all flat and the roads are relatively smooth. Like, I didn't have to air down or nothing. So we'll see. I might have to air down later, but like, it's been pretty, you know, non-eventful, other than it just being kind of remote. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, kind of pick up and start making some miles. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on where I'm at. And so gotta use a quarter tank of fuel. Not too bad, so I'm not worried yet, but we'll see. So I'll keep you posted on that too. In Utah's high desert lies a place shaped not by man, but by time itself. The Devil's Playground, a maze of massive granite boulders, scattered like the ruins of some ancient world. Wind and weather carved these towers over millions of years, leaving behind a landscape both harsh and beautiful. To wander here is to step into a natural cathedral where silence reigns and the stone tells its story in the shadows and light. So, made it to camp out in the desert. So it's let's see, I think it's about 5:26, and we actually have 4 bars of service here, which I didn't, this is like one of the most remote sections of the Tat so far. I didn't think we'd have service, but this is a cool spot. Like, I feel like we're in like, I don't know, like Australia. I feel like we're on a different continent. It's kind of cool. But this is the site. It's not perfectly level, but I could put some trees or rocks probably under the tires. Actually, if I come more on this side, there's some cow pies there, but might be able to level it out a little bit more. But it's not bad, and the cloud cover is blocking the sun, so it's really not bad out here. I like this camp, so this will be home for the night. So I'm leveling that. I'm just kind of doing left-footed braking so I can be precise with my movement, so I don't slam down or have to gun it. And then before you put it in park or anything, just pull the e-brake. That'll hold you if your e-brake's good. And then you can go to park. And then it's pretty simple. That's all you have to do. Just doing a steak tonight. Really simple. No, I don't have a lot of food left. I think I could throw some eggs in there or something. Steak and eggs. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So I think I've got like 3 eggs left. It's like a ton of little flies here, They're just annoying me just enough to make this difficult. See, flies are already after my steak. I'm gonna have to do this really quick. Yeah, bugs are already after it. God, man. These bugs. How many times have I said I'm looking forward to winter? Love the winter. Not a single freaking bug in sight. I love the cold too, honestly. I'm just gonna mash this up. I'm literally losing my food. This is why I didn't want to cook on this desert trip. I knew there was gonna be problems, honestly. Yeah, it's pretty shitty eggs, man. I don't know. I gotta go, guys. I gotta go in the truck. Going in the truck. In the truck. Oh God. Oh God. Man. I swear there's bugs in this stuff. That was awful. Honestly. I thought the desert would have less bugs, honestly. I guess I was wrong. Like, even though they're not like huge, and they don't bite, they're so freaking annoying. It's probably all over my food. Those are the worst eggs I've ever made in my life, I swear to God. I mean, I didn't have time to oil the pan or anything. So I was just trying to, I don't know. At least I didn't overcook the bison steak. I don't want to overcook game meat, but I'm gonna sweat like a sieve in here, honestly. Actually, dinner wasn't really bad, you know. I think it came out okay. It tasted good, but it was nice, you know, not to just eat a salt lick with one of those dehydrated meals. But yeah, they're really salty. But yeah, it was dinner. It's kind of like, you know, the reality of some of these camping trips. I don't know what it's gonna be like, you know. Sometimes it's like that. So went out for a little walk. It's pretty peaceful. Light breeze. The moon's out. I mean, this is really what it's about in the desert, high desert here in Utah. The Devil's Playground over there is pretty cool. You know, it'd be fun if you had like a ATV or something, get in there, or if I, you know, had one of my Jeeps or something. It'd be fun to go play in there. But pretty nice night. Battery indicators flashing, so camera's about to die, but it's not bad. The bugs are finally gone. It's not super cold like I thought it would be, and I think that's because, you know, we got overcast skies tonight. So I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning up, organizing before I go to bed. Yeah, probably like watch a movie or something. So after what feels like an hour of organizing, I feel like I've gotten nowhere with this. Almost halfway through the TransAmerica trip, you know, it really is a challenge to live out of a vehicle, and in the backcountry especially, because I mean, you just don't have access to services and water and, you know, grocery stores, and so that's very hard. And your power's limited, your water's limited, your, you know, ice is limited, and, you know, trash is limited. So you only have so many options before it's like, you know, I have to go back into town, I have to do resupply, and it's hard to predict those things when you're doing a route like the TransAmerica, because you're going through such remote stretches. You don't know when your gas stops are, you don't know when the stores are, because it's really hard to plan, you know, a big trip like that, because there's just not a lot of good information out there. You know, I've been reading the comments, and, you know, a lot of people don't know what the TransAmerica Trail is, or they never heard of it. It seems like, and you know, if I told everyone what I'm doing the Rubicon, people would understand. But, you know, the TransAmerica Trail, I think the best way to describe it is, it's not necessarily a trail, but more of a, you know, a compilation of different routes that, you know, these motorcycle guys went and explored, and, you know, kind of put together in a map, and you can, you know, have fun with it. I think it's more of in the spirit doing the TransAmerica Trail. Is you're, instead of just taking an interstate with all the big rigs and semis, you're seeing the country in a way that, you know, no one else, you know, probably gets to see the country. And so I think that's the spirit of the TransAmerica Trail, is not necessarily sticking to the exact route or someone's exact route of it, but, you know, learning about how to live in the backcountry, learning how to be adaptable, how to problem solve your own challenges along the way, and just living a minimalist lifestyle. So I think that's the spirit of the TransAmerica Trail, is, you know, doing those things. Because, you know, this would, I think, ultimately, it would definitely be easier if you could travel interstates, you know, if you had access to, you know, really, cheap gas, reliable fuel stations along the way, and all the amenities of truck stops and, showers, and, I think that would be a lot easier. But this is kind of, being thrown to the wolves if you've, never done van life before. I've done a few, 2-week road trips. So that's the closest thing I've ever done to something like this. And, I remember like being ready to come home after the 2 weeks. And, I've definitely felt that a couple times on this trip. I'm not going to lie. I've felt like, it'd be nice to go stay with some family for a little bit. But, we're not quitters here. We got to persevere. We got to continue on because, ultimately it is a challenge. We want to reach the East Coast. We want to reach the Atlantic Ocean. And, we don't want to give up, no hotels, no Airbnbs on this because, that's the spirit of the trip is, we're out here. We're dependent on our setup, right? So we're in the spirit of, doing this trip. And, it's definitely given me a unique perspective of, what overland travel is. I really never considered myself an overlander at all, actually. I just think I like to car camp and travel, and I still kind of feel like that, but, definitely the remoteness and just the unpredictability is a huge factor out here. I mean, you know, some coyotes. Pretty cool. Hear that? Oh yeah, I got him on camera. Yep, good old coyotes. I don't see them anymore. Thought I could see the, beady eyes and stuff. You never know. It's kind of fun to see at night. But, yeah, it was cool to see the coyotes. Yeah, we're all locked up. So, slept like a rock. I'm gonna, get up and get going. Not a bad day. Out here in the desert. But it's time for some coffee. Get some coffee going. So I don't really talk about how I make my coffee, but it's a simple pour over. So you just have a metal kind of filter, and then put your grounds in, and you can pour it over. Nice thing with this, you don't need coffee filters with this one. You do have to clean it out once in a while, but I don't mind a little old grinds. Doesn't hurt anything. And then what I do is I pour it kind of a bigger metal cup, and then I pour it into my small one, and this keeps it warm. All right, let's about that time. I'm gonna head out and make our way towards Wendover. Should be a pretty good day. We got, I don't know how many miles, maybe like 50 miles or so. Maybe a little more. But see you guys, catch you guys on the road. So made it to Wendover. It's like a whole like off-grid community here. It's kind of cool with the BLM. They offer the free camping. They've got like, dumpster, bathrooms, all those sorts of things that that are cool to have. So that's pretty cool. Ended up finding a dispersed site. It's a BLM land. There's like no one out here. All the RVs are like way over there. And it's actually really clean out here. They have a big dumpster to dump trash and stuff. I did make a quick fill stop. And so I think I'm gonna do a bunch of editing here for a few days. It's not too bad. It's not as hot as I thought it would be. Either way, black truck kind of sucks for the desert, but it's not that bad. It's cool out here though. The salt flats are just over here. I think with that, I'm gonna wrap up the video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more content. You can follow me on Instagram too, Buckskin Drifter. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Connor out.